What is up, everybody? Today is day one of a new mesocycle. If you don't know what a mesocycle is, it is a 3 to 5 week period of training where there is one major emphasis, sometimes two major emphasis, qualities that I am trying to improve on that will hopefully lead to an increase in my vertical jump. And it is a part of a macro cycle, which is a 3 to 6 long jump training program with the objective of peaking to jump my highest at the end of that macro cycle. Right now, I am halfway through the microcycle and we're doing a mesocycle focused on maximal effort isometrics. We like to implement these usually halfway through a macro cycle, usually following a period of high volume training where the goal is to increase muscle hypertrophy, increase work capacity, and make your tendons feel nice and healthy. Then we follow that with a period of max strength work, which I just finished. My strength shot up a lot, which left me primed and ready to go to do this style of training. Now, warning, this style of training is very, very intense, and with it comes an increased risk of injury. So we usually don't implement these cycles with our athletes until they're in like year 2 or 3 of training. So if you sign up for THP, you're not going to see this until a long time in the future when you have a lot of training under your belt and you're an advanced athlete and it's time to use that silver bullet in the chamber. Something that's important to note with any kind of training stimuli is that you're never going to respond to a stimulus like you do the first time that it is seen. So you have to be careful when you introduce complex styles of training, because you don't want to waste it essentially by doing it too early when you can be doing more simple types of training and squeeze the juice out of the more simple type of training. Now, we started the workout with some clean pulls, and I actually messed up this workout because I was supposed to do the clean pulls with a 3-second pause below the knee. And as you can see here, I'm just doing regular clean pulls. But that's okay because we can implement the pauses next week, which should make things harder and more intense. And I'm still getting the benefit of clean pulls, which I didn't really do last training cycle, because last training cycle, I was also recovering from a quad pull. And if you're ever dealing with muscle pulls, you don't want to load them on back-to-back days. And clean pulls were programmed for me on Saturdays, and my jump days were on Fridays. So I did not do any of the clean pull workouts, sadly. But this cycle, I got to do them on Monday. And clean pulls really, really help my power clean. So real excited to be working on that this cycle with low-hanging fruit that can improve my strength even further. Now, moving on to the meat of the workout, the lift that gives me the most benefit and that we're focusing on for these isometrics, and that is the belt squat. The belt squat has proven to be one of my favorite machines, guys. This machine right here is the reason, in my opinion, that I improved so much last training cycle. It's because it allows me to lift, to do squats in deep ranges of motion without my back being the limiter. It's only my legs that are the limiter. So I can essentially train as intensely as I want, as close to failure as I want, without worrying a single bit about my back. Now, to do the isometrics, you just put more weight on the bar than you can lift concentrically. For me, as if you saw the video, I put on 405 and I was able to lift it. Now, my max is on a deep belt squat was 355, so I figured 405 would be heavy enough, but it wasn't. And it shocked me, but I also shouldn't be shocked because, one, every athlete is weaker in a deep squat position than they are in a half squat position. You're in a less favorably leveraged position when you're doing a deep squat. And two, a half squat is the angle that I jump at. So I've had a lot of reps at that angle and I'm way stronger at that angle. So I had to end up putting 475 pounds here on the belt squat. And then I literally, as aggressively as I could, I imagined I was jumping, attack the rep. And I'm trying to lift that 475 pound weight. Like even though it's too heavy to lift up, in my mind, I am trying to lift it up. Then we did the same thing with the calf raises. So I started with around 2 sets of 10 at 50 to 60% of my max in order to get some training volume in. The style of periodization that we use at THP is long conjugate sequence systems. And what that means, conjugate, is that you focus on multiple qualities at once with extra emphasis on one quality and decreased emphasis on the other qualities in terms of how much volume you're doing of each. And the reason we do that is so that we don't detrain those other qualities. So in this cycle, The main quality we're working on is isometric strength, and we're still touching on volume. And now, why even do these maximal effort isometrics? Whenever you're doing any kind of elastic activity, so think plyometrics, jumping, sprinting, and that sort of thing, they all have something called a stretch shortening cycle. And that is just a quick eccentric followed by a quick concentric action. An eccentric is when the muscle undergoes tension while lengthening, and a concentric action is when the muscle undergoes tension while shortening. And what doing that very quickly allows you to do is it allows you to stretch the tendon so that energy is stored that is later released in the concentric portion. And when done very quickly, more energy is stored, which means more energy is released, and it augments force production. That's why you jump higher when doing a running jump versus a standing jump, because you're storing more energy on the tendon by stretching it more in that running jump. Now, in between the eccentric action and the concentric action, there is a brief isometric condition. And the more force you can generate isometrically, the less energy you're going to leak during that transition period. So that's called amortization. How quickly you go from the eccentric to the concentric is amortizing. And the stronger you are isometrically, the faster you can amortize. And the faster you can amortize, the higher you're going to jump. So that's what we're training, is that in-between period, that isometric condition. We then finish the workout with some depth drops. This is just to get a very big neural stimulus at the end of the workout. And it helps you leave on a high note. These are super fun, and it leads to some good adaptations for you in terms of your nervous system, which is very important for producing force very quickly. And that was it for the workout, guys. As always, if you want to sign up to get coached by me and our other extremely smart coaches to jump higher, go to THPstrength.com. You can also click the link in the description. For the month of December, actually for only like 4 more days, there's a 40% discount off your first month. So if you want to take advantage of that, act now and watch those vertical jump gains come through. And if you enjoyed the video, guys, leave a like, and I'll catch you guys in the next workout. Peace out.